So, trying to get this video message clear. I was watching one of my favorite elders on YouTube, someone that I just enjoy experiencing. And she was sharing a message that she had received very recently. She said she woke up and had a hashtag in her mind, and the hashtag is "Look What Love Built." And she went on to share a few stories about how that has shown up in her field of awareness. She also said that, and I love this, and I wrote it down, the highest timeline will be led by love. And this is something that I have heard a number of people, I could say many people say, for the past many, many years. So I wanted to come here and give you like a starter place for your own timeline creation. So timelines are really fascinating to me. They're something that I learned about, like in terms of being introduced to the language. I learned about this years ago. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. I could understand pieces of it, like it's like if somebody wrote a paragraph and you could identify just a couple of words in the paragraph, or maybe, we have these old tablets and some of the words have been rubbed off or the tablet's been cracked and part of the message is missing. That's how the concept of timelines was for me. Like, I wanted to get it, but I couldn't get it. So I've been working with this idea very, very closely for the past few years. And I'm starting to understand some things for myself. And there's a couple of things. Like, this is, again, if you pay attention to the way that I speak and the way that I show up in these videos, you understand that often when I'm talking about something, there are many, many ways to talk about something. So what brings that to mind for me right now is that I've listened to a number of people say there's like this timeline or there's this timeline. And basically, if you don't have any experience with timelines and that language, one way that you can think about it when you hear people talking is choice points. The choices that we make on a day-to-day basis, a moment-to-moment experience, they lead us to outcomes. And those outcomes create an experience of life that we are living. So just look at your own life and think back on some big choice points that you were faced with or that you may be faced with. The way that we make our decisions, the way that you are making your decisions leads you to the next step in the outcome. So the next experience that you're going to have is based on choice. And choice, another word for choice is creation. So one way to think about timelines is that we are continually creating our experience in life. Which is, if we were to shorten that sentence, we are continually creating our life based on the choices we're making. And part of choice is what makes sense to us, what vibrates with us. So what I wanted to share, what I wanted to add to this conversation of the highest timeline will be led by love is that many, many, many of us have been learning new things over the past few years. We have been exposed to new ideas, new experiences of ourselves. Many of us have been exposed to information that has been living side by side with us that we did not know was there. We could not see it. We could not believe in it. We had no idea that it was there, even though it might have been in a person side by side. This is something that I've been experiencing, and this is what I wanted to talk about, because this is one of the ways that we start understanding how to create, how to make choices that are really truthful to us. And this is the way that a thing feels, the way that an experience feels, the way that a word feels, the way that a person feels, the way that options and opportunities feel. So to bring it into a concrete kind of like something that you can visualize and then get a sense of. So for those of us who have been tapping into new information, whatever that information is, we could really simplify it and just say, when we tune into the news, whatever news source you tune into, if we start paying attention to how I'm going to say our body, and right now we can think of it as just the physical body. That's a good place to start. How our body feels when we hear things. And not hear certain things, but when we hear anything. Because this is how we start to notice, oh, that felt inspiring. I feel lit up by that. And again, if you've been listening to me, my mind like sprouts off 5 new things with that. So when I say inspiring, that doesn't necessarily mean that something just feels good. Inspiring may be a call to action. Like inspiring may come with a sense of responsibility or a sense of weight to it, but it activates us or mobilizes us into taking action, into taking responsibility for something, like an outcome that we want. So there are nuances to the way that we feel as well. But right now, if you haven't been accustomed to paying attention to the way that your system is responding to the world that you are a part of, okay? So if you are only accustomed to taking in information or like giving rote like, hi, how are you? I'm fine. Okay, great. And then moving on. If that's all you're accustomed to, like just a very surface level engagement with whatever's coming into your awareness, in order to be creatively capable of making choice. And I know there's the whole, we don't actually have free will. Do we have free will? Like, I get that that's a conversation. But on some level, we get to play, and we get to make choice, and we get to engage with what's coming at us. In order to make choices that keep us aligned, keep us in tune with what's actually meant for us, we need to check in with this amazing instrument and pay attention to how it feels. Is something repelling me? And then, in the beginning, we can get curious. Am I being repelled because I'm just shut down to that idea? Like that idea is so foreign to all the other ideas I've had that I'm unwilling to receive a new idea. I'm unwilling to investigate a new possibility. That's one reason we might be repelled by something. We might be repelled by something because it is just not a fit. And I make the distinction between the two because oftentimes if we don't want to continue to challenge ourselves or be uncomfortable, we'll just go with it's just not a fit. I'm sorry, we'll just go with I'm just really offended by that. I'm not even going to think about it any more deeply. That's a valid response as well, but understand as much as you can about like what's motivating your choice. That way the idea here is when it comes to timelines and creating your experience or co-creating your experience or collaborating with the divine on your lived experience in life, we need a level of awareness. Otherwise, we are just on autopilot. We're reactive. We're making decisions based on what the group is thinking, or we're making our decisions based on what the group is doing rather than on what our very finely attuned sensibilities can direct us to if we learn to pay attention to it. So tuning into the news or the conversations around you, which is another form of news, that's a really good way to develop the skill of, oh, what did that just feel like? Did I feel drawn to that? Do I want to learn more information? And then do I want to do something with that information? Or do I feel repelled by that? Do I feel oppressed by that? Do I feel constricted and restrained by that? And what is in that constriction, repelling, restraint? Like, is there something for me to pull from that that will help me make better decisions in the future? Or is that just a very clear indication that that is not the direction that I need to be going in? So, so much more that I could say about that just in terms of fine tuning it. But for now, just start paying attention to how you feel. When you're in the company of someone else, how do you feel? When you're about to make a decision, like, what is the feeling in your body, your physical body? This body is it's an instrument. It is technology, and it is guiding us in directions. When we learn how to operate it, the idea of creating new experiences for ourselves, which is another way of saying shifting timelines. You know, there's this timeline over here where if we show up in this way, this is what's coming for us. This is the direction we're heading. If I make this turn to the right, I'm going to join this timeline over here where these things are happening. Hopefully that helps for those of you who you're like, what is this timeline language? Okay, I'm going to stop there. I'm trying to keep these videos under 15 minutes. I'm actually trying to keep them under 12. So I just wanted to share that. She also was really loved the idea. She wanted people to start acting from this place of look what love built. And I'll come back and play with those ideas in another video. So I hope you're having a great day. Yeah, that's it. Gonna sign off.